A diplomatic rift has emerged between Kenya and 12 Western embassies just as the country marks 1 year since the historic Gen Z-led protest that shook the nation in 2024. In a strongly worded statement, the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs cautioned the envoys representing countries including the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada against interfering in Kenya's internal affairs following their public call for restraint by police and protection of protest right. The diplomats had jointly urged the government to facilitate peaceful demonstrations and fully comply with a High Court ruling that banned the use of plainclothes police officers in unmarked vehicles during protests. Away from that is that demonstrations have kicked off in Mombasa in memory of those killed during last year's Gen Z-led anti-finance bill. Hundreds of youth in Mombasa staged peaceful protest in the town center to honor those killed during last year's demonstrations. The young first attended a 3-hour memorial mass at ACK Cathedral in Nkuruma Road, running from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., the youth proceeded to Mapembeni area along Moi Avenue, where the protest march officially started. Security is tight with a heavy deployment of police officers across Mombasa town. Still on matters protests is that tensions flared in Nairobi's central business district this morning after police lobbed tear gas at demonstrators along Kimathi Street near the Stanley Hotel, disrupting an otherwise peaceful commemoration of the Gen Z-led June 25th protests. The protesters, who had gathered in growing numbers at key points including the National Archives and Tom Mboya Street, had earlier been marching peacefully, waving Kenyan flags, holding placards, and carrying roses in remembrance of those killed during the 2024 anti-finance bill demonstrations. However, the situation shifted abruptly near Kimathi Street as officers moved in to disperse groups chanting and singing, triggering panic among protesters and passers-by. Meanwhile, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka led opposition leaders in laying wreaths outside Parliament in memory of those killed during last year's Gen Z anti-finance bill protests. Kalonzo was joined by a DAP Kenya party leader Eugene Wamalwa and families of victims who died during last year's demonstrations, which culminated in the storming of Parliament. The leaders walked from Holy Family Basilica, where they had earlier held prayers but were not allowed to go past the police barricade. They did not attend a formal church service but held prayers outside the church just a few meters from Parliament Square. Security officers had barricaded a Parliament Road with razor wire as part of heightened security measures ahead of the anticipated Gen Z protest in Nairobi.
Intention today was to come and lay wreaths in remembrance of these young people. They are entitled, and other Kenyans are entitled. We also actually said clearly, we've been saying it, today is a public holiday. Indeed, it is now going to, is it 9 o'clock? And I've never seen the streets of Nairobi being so clear, easy traffic today. A lot of Kenyans have chosen to stay at home in sympathy with what happened on the 25th of June, 2024.
And now you're up to date on Iqra News at 5 minutes past 11. For more on these and other stories, do join us at 12 p.m. My name is Ramla Abdi. Ma'assalam.
For more news updates, get us online at www.iqrafm.com or www.iqrafmwebradiosite.com.